"I can answer you in any language," the girl said with pride. The millionaire laughed. But what happened next left him frozen. In a quiet town, a seemingly ordinary girl carried a secret talent that nobody noticed. She lived humbly, her days filled with books and practice, while a millionaire, used to wealth and power, thought he had seen it all. Her intelligence and pride were hidden, yet ready to surprise. How could her quiet dedication shake a man who believed money was everything? This simple girl was about to teach a lesson that no amount. He was just a boy from a small American town, where opportunities seemed as rare as rain in the desert. His home was nothing more than a modest wooden house with peeling paint and creaking floors. Every morning he woke up before the sun, not because he wanted to, but because life demanded it. He carried newspapers on his bicycle through the cold dawn, his breath turning into mist in the air. While other kids slept peacefully, he was already fighting his first battles. His shoes were old, his clothes stitched and restitched by his mother, but his eyes carried something no one could patch: determination. To anyone watching, he looked like just another poor kid, but inside, he already knew his story would be different. His family lived paycheck to paycheck, sometimes not even that. His father worked long shifts at the factory, returning with tired hands and a face worn out by struggle. His mother, a quiet woman with eyes full of worry, often skipped her own meals so the children could eat. The boy noticed everything, though they tried to shield him from the weight of poverty. He could hear the late-night whispers about bills, the sighs after counting coins on the kitchen table. But instead of despair, he chose to see hope in those moments. He believed deep down that if he worked hard enough, something good would eventually break through the darkness. School wasn't easy either. The wealthier kids laughed at his torn backpack and mocked his second-hand clothes. They called him the janitor's son, even though his father was proud of every callus on his hands. Sometimes humiliation stung more than hunger, yet every insult fueled a fire inside him. Instead of breaking him, their laughter built his resolve. He studied harder than anyone else, memorizing every page, practicing words and numbers until late at night. Education was his secret weapon, the only tool that could dig him out of the hole life had thrown him into. He carried books like other kids carried toys, not because he had to, but because he knew knowledge would be his ticket out. Still, his heart longed for more than just survival. He wanted dignity, the chance to walk into a store without counting every penny, the freedom to dream without fear of disappointment. Sometimes, while delivering newspapers, he would stop in front of big houses with manicured lawns. He stared not with envy, but with determination. He didn't wish to take what others had. Instead, he promised himself that one day he would earn the right to have it too. Those houses weren't symbols of arrogance for him. They were reminders of what persistence could build. Each bicycle ride past those gates was another spark of motivation. The boy also had a gift most overlooked. Languages fascinated him. While his classmates saw them as boring, he devoured every new word like it was gold. At the library, his best escape, he found old books on French, Spanish, and even Latin. Though he had no tutor, he repeated words out loud until his tongue adjusted, until the strange sounds became familiar. His little room became an echo chamber of foreign phrases. His mother sometimes smiled, not understanding what he said, but knowing it meant her son was dreaming bigger than their small world. This obsession wasn't just curiosity. It was preparation for a life no one around him could yet imagine. Even in poverty, he carried himself with quiet pride. He never begged, never complained, never asked for pity. When others looked at him with condescension, he stood taller, as if their judgment couldn't touch him. Deep inside, he believed something that kept him going. I'm poor, but I'm not small. That thought carried him through the hardest winters and the hungriest nights. It was more than stubbornness. It was a seed of greatness taking root. A seed only he could see at that time. But greatness doesn't grow without pain. There were nights when hunger gnawed at him so hard he couldn't sleep. He would drink water to fill the emptiness in his stomach, pretending it was enough. There were days when classmates' laughter cut deeper than any wound, when he questioned if the fight was worth it. And yet, Every time he fell into doubt, he remembered his parents' sacrifices. He remembered his mother's hands, cracked from washing clothes, and his father's silence after long days at the factory. They didn't complain. How could he? Their resilience became his compass, their endurance his strength. It was during one of those newspaper routes, in the biting cold of an early morning, that he whispered to himself a promise. I will make it. No one heard him, no one believed him, but he said it with a certainty that even the universe couldn't ignore. It wasn't arrogance. It was destiny speaking through him. He didn't know how, he didn't know when, but he knew poverty would not define the end of his story. That single phrase became a silent anthem, repeated under his breath whenever the world tried to remind him of his place. And so, with hunger in his stomach but fire in his soul, he kept moving forward. Step by step, page by page, word by word, he built himself. The world saw a poor boy with nothing to offer, but what they couldn't see was the foundation being laid inside him. Every struggle was a brick, every humiliation a layer of cement, every sacrifice a beam of steel. One day, all of it would hold up a life so big it would leave even the wealthiest in shock. But for now, it was just the beginning, a humble beginning that no one yet understood. Life in their small home was a constant balancing act, like walking on a tightrope with no safety net. Bills piled up on the kitchen table, some unopened, some already overdue, and the air seemed heavier with each passing day. The girl could feel the tension pressing on her parents' shoulders, even before they spoke. Every creak in the old floorboards sounded like a reminder that money was always short. Groceries were often sparse, sometimes barely enough to fill empty stomachs, and even then, they made do with whatever was left. Her father's tired eyes carried silent worry, while her mother's quiet sacrifices went unnoticed by everyone outside their walls. Yet, the girl learned early that poverty wasn't just about lacking money. It was the weight of being unseen, underestimated, and undervalued. This awareness shaped her resilience, her intelligence, and the subtle pride that kept her head high. Even as a child, she noticed how the world treated her differently. Neighborhood kids with shiny backpacks laughed at her worn shoes and patched jackets, unaware of the lessons life had already taught her. She could see the millionaire-looking people in cars gliding past, living lives she only read about in borrowed library books. It would have been easy to feel envy or anger, but instead, she quietly observed, studying their manners, their language, their ways of navigating a world she longed to belong to. She knew early on that knowledge, not money, would be her path out. She also began understanding how humility could coexist with pride, a skill far more powerful than anyone imagined. Food was another lesson in patience and planning. Sometimes breakfast meant a simple slice of bread with a smear of butter, sometimes no butter at all. Lunches were predictable, leftovers from the night before or simple sandwiches if they were lucky. Dinner was often the family's collective invention, making the few ingredients they had feel like a feast. The girl learned to appreciate the little things. The warmth of soup, the crunch of fresh bread at the corner store, the way her mother stretched meals just enough to make everyone feel satisfied. She began seeing patterns in scarcity, learning how to turn limitations into exercises in creativity and intelligence. Every meager meal was a test of endurance, shaping her mind to notice value where others overlooked it. Despite the hardship, her parents pushed her toward education. Books became her window to a world that felt unreachable. She read everything she could find: dictionaries, language guides, novels, even newspapers discarded by neighbors. Every page turned was a tiny victory, a way to claim power in a world that often ignored her. She found joy in memorizing foreign words, practicing pronunciation, and imagining herself traveling beyond the dusty streets of her hometown. That curiosity surprised even her, a spark that made her forget the gnawing hunger in her belly. Intelligence became her secret currency, a wealth no one could take from her, no matter how empty the pantry grew. Her nights were often quiet, almost eerily so, as the rest of the house slept. She would sit by the dim light of a single bulb, repeating phrases in French or Spanish, testing herself with German verbs and Mandarin tones. The challenge wasn't just learning languages. It was proving to herself that the world couldn't define her limits. Each correct pronunciation, each memorized sentence, filled her with a subtle pride that no laughter outside could diminish. She knew that one day, these hidden talents might surprise someone, even a millionaire who thought he had seen it all. But for now, the house was silent except for her soft, persistent voice repeating words no one around her understood. Even in these conditions, she carried herself with dignity. She refused handouts from neighbors who offered pity, knowing that dependence wasn't the path she wanted. Her parents admired this quietly. They understood that true humility wasn't weakness but the courage to persist on your own. Respect, she realized, wasn't something you demanded. It was something you earned through patience, consistency, and intelligence. Every chore she did around the house, every errand she ran, became a practice in responsibility and self-reliance. The girl learned that humility didn't mean lowering yourself, and that the world's judgment could never define her true value. Sometimes, despair crept in during the long winter nights when the cold seemed sharper than hunger itself. The family would huddle together, sharing warmth and stories, finding comfort in small laughter. She began understanding that poverty was not just financial. It was emotional, the silent pressure of existing in a world that often overlooked people like her. Yet, in that pressure, she discovered strength. She realized that being underestimated could become her advantage, a way to surprise those who assumed she was incapable. Each night of cold and quiet became another step toward unexpected power, laying the foundation for the challenges ahead. Even with so many limitations, she dared to dream. She imagined walking into classrooms filled with possibilities, conversing with people who spoke languages she hadn't even mastered yet, traveling to cities she had only seen in magazines. That dream gave her a glow, a confidence that transcended her humble surroundings. It was this mixture of humility and pride that would later catch the attention of someone who could change her life, someone whose world was so different it seemed untouchable, yet would soon be shaken by her intelligence. Every small step she took now was a rehearsal for that moment of recognition. And so, life continued with its highs and lows, each day a test of patience, creativity, and endurance. Bills remained, hunger persisted, and the world often overlooked her. Yet she pressed on. She carried the weight of poverty not as a burden, but as a teacher, shaping her into someone ready for challenges far beyond her small town. Each struggle added layers to her character, polishing her humility while sharpening her unexpected talents. What she couldn't know then was that every sacrifice, every quiet night with a foreign book in hand, was preparing her for an encounter that would change not only her life, but also the life of someone who had once laughed at her. Late at night, the girl's room became her sanctuary, a world separate from the hardships outside. The small lamp cast a warm circle of light on the worn pages of her books, where French, Spanish, and even Mandarin waited for her attention. Each word she learned felt like a secret weapon, a hidden talent nobody around her could touch or take away. She repeated phrases softly, testing pronunciation, listening to the rhythm, and imagining herself speaking confidently to anyone, anywhere. This quiet dedication wasn't about showing off. It was about building intelligence in a world that didn't yet notice her. Her pride grew quietly, the kind that doesn't boast, but shines when the right moment arrives. Even with little guidance, she created her own lessons. She recorded herself speaking, then listened repeatedly, comparing sounds, adjusting tones, and mimicking native speakers. Every mispronounced word became a challenge to correct, every small victory a moment of pride. She knew the millionaire world outside her town valued communication, elegance, and skill, and she wanted to have something no one could question: mastery. Her room was filled with scribbled notes, flashcards, and torn pages from dictionaries, yet she treated them as treasures. This humble environment became a training ground for a talent so unexpected that it would soon shock everyone who underestimated her. Her parents noticed the glow in her eyes, the way she spoke to herself in unfamiliar tongues. At first, they didn't understand, thinking it was just a hobby, a pastime. But they realized it was more than that. It was a gift. They watched quietly as she practiced, never imposing, always encouraging in subtle ways. Sometimes her mother would bring her a cup of tea, sitting silently nearby, respecting her focus. These small acts of support, though understated, fueled her determination. It was in these moments that the girl learned an important lesson. True talent flourishes best in quiet humility, guided by subtle respect and encouragement. School offered little recognition. Teachers saw her brilliance but often overlooked it, distracted by louder, more confident students. Some classmates mocked her for speaking strange words, not understanding that language was her bridge to something bigger. The laughter sometimes stung, but it never stopped her. Instead, she kept practicing in corners, in empty classrooms, during recess, and on bus rides home. Her humility protected her from discouragement, while her intelligence kept her progressing at a pace few could match. She discovered that hidden talent, when nurtured quietly, can eventually command the world's attention without ever demanding it. Her gift extended beyond memorization. She began noticing patterns in language, connecting words from different cultures, understanding that communication is more than vocabulary. It's rhythm, emotion, and nuance. She experimented, mixing phrases, creating mini dialogues in her head, imagining conversations with people she had never met. These exercises sharpened her mind and honed a skill that went far beyond textbooks. Every night, she added new words and accents to her repertoire, each one a silent declaration that she would be recognized, eventually, for something meaningful. Her pride was quiet but potent, a force that would later become impossible to ignore. Even in her modest home, she began sharing her learning with neighbors and younger children, teaching them basic words and phrases. It wasn't for praise, but for connection. She noticed that teaching reinforced her own understanding and brought subtle respect from those around her. Little by little, her intelligence started making a difference in her immediate world, even if the millionaire world she dreamed of remained distant. Each shared lesson built her confidence, and each recognition, however small, reinforced the idea that talent paired with humility carries unexpected power. The nights of dedication weren't easy. Sometimes exhaustion pulled at her eyelids, the day's chores still unfinished, hunger lingering like a shadow. Yet, the quiet joy of mastering a new phrase or understanding a complex accent pushed her onward. Her father, once skeptical, began seeing her discipline as a reflection of true potential. Her mother, always supportive in her silent way, recognized the spark of recognition that burned in her daughter's eyes. These small moments taught her that the world rewards patience, persistence, and the ability to cultivate talent even when the stage is invisible. She even began connecting her language skills to real-life opportunities. While delivering newspapers or running errands, she greeted store clerks with a phrase in Spanish or tried a few words in French with tourists. The reactions were subtle at first, a surprised smile, a nod of respect, but each acknowledgement reinforced the value of her effort. She realized that intelligence paired with humble action can earn recognition in ways money cannot buy. These small victories built her confidence and prepared her for encounters far beyond her town, where her talent would create genuine surprise and awe. By the time she closed her books each night, the girl carried a quiet pride that no one could diminish. Her world might still be small, her resources limited, but her skill was growing beyond the walls of her humble room. She had built a foundation that would later challenge assumptions, shake confidence, and leave even the wealthiest in shock. Every page, every phrase, every moment of quiet practice had meaning. And though she didn't know it yet, the world was about to notice, and the challenge she had been preparing for was just around the corner. It was a sunny afternoon when the girl found herself at a local event she had almost ignored. The town hall was buzzing with chatter, laughter, and the smell of fresh coffee from a nearby stall. People moved in groups, exchanging polite smiles, while she quietly observed from the corner. That's when she noticed him. A man whose presence commanded attention. A millionaire whose wealth and influence were known by everyone. His tailored suit and confident stride made him look untouchable, a symbol of power the girl had only read about in magazines. She felt a mix of awe and curiosity, wondering what someone like him could possibly see in a girl like her. Most would have turned away, feeling small, invisible in his shadow. But the girl's confidence, built from years of quiet practice and pride in her talent, refused to let her shrink. She stayed, listening as he spoke to local leaders, giving advice, shaking hands and laughing lightly. To everyone else, he was untouchable, a symbol of money and influence. To her, he was human, vulnerable to surprise and recognition, if only someone dared to challenge him. She wondered, with a hint of excitement, if her quiet talent could ever intersect with someone of his magnitude. She waited for the right moment, a small opportunity to approach without imposing. She observed his gestures, how he interacted with others, noting the subtle respect he demanded and gave. His reputation as a shrewd but fair businessman made her pulse quicken, knowing this encounter could shift her life in ways she hadn't dared imagine. The anticipation was electric, yet she felt grounded. She had prepared for challenges like this, though never in person. Her intelligence and humility were her weapons, and she was ready to use them quietly, confidently. The millionaire, for his part, saw her as just another face among the crowd. A girl from a modest background, polite but likely unremarkable. He didn't notice the spark in her eyes, the quiet pride in her posture, the subtle aura of unexpected talent. His mind was on deals, investments, and recognition from others like him. Little did he know that the girl carried a challenge he had never faced before, a test not of money, but of intelligence, skill, and the dignity that comes from years of quiet dedication. The irony was invisible to everyone except her. Curiosity pulled her closer as the event continued. She listened to his conversations, noting his patterns, the way he laughed, the pauses in his sentences. Each observation built her confidence. She realized that understanding people was just as important as mastering languages, and she had learned that too. Her talent was no longer just words. It was perception, awareness, and the ability to anticipate reactions. It was a quiet power, one that could shock even the most self-assured millionaire when revealed. The moment arrived when she finally spoke, introducing herself with calm confidence. Her words were simple, but delivered with clarity and precision. "Hello, sir. I've been studying languages for years, and I enjoy learning new ones every day." He chuckled politely, thinking it was the harmless pride of a young girl. He had no reason to take her seriously, no reason to believe that this humble girl could astonish him. Yet her calm, measured tone carried a weight that made him pause, just slightly, almost imperceptibly. Her calm confidence unsettled him more than he realized. He hadn't expected the girl to be this composed, to command a room silently without money, without status, and without any show of arrogance. She had humility, yes, but not meekness, a combination that made her presence quietly magnetic. The crowd, meanwhile, barely noticed the tension building, the subtle shift in attention as he began observing her instead of the other way around. It was a dance of perception and intelligence, played silently between a girl and a millionaire. Even before she demonstrated her skills, the millionaire felt an unusual curiosity. Something in her poise suggested she was capable of more than words. Perhaps he sensed recognition of talent, perhaps a quiet challenge that stirred his pride. Either way, he didn't yet understand that this encounter would not end in laughter, as he assumed it might. The girl's quiet confidence was a storm in disguise, ready to leave an unexpected mark, a shock that would ripple far beyond the small town hall. And so the stage was set. Two worlds, seemingly separate, now intersected in the most unexpected way. The girl, humble yet prepared, and the millionaire, confident yet untested, were about to engage in a challenge that neither had anticipated. Every eye in the room remained unaware of the drama quietly unfolding, while her hidden talent waited for the right moment to be revealed. What happened next would change how he viewed power, respect, and the surprising force of intelligence in someone underestimated. The girl took a deep breath, her small hands clasped loosely at her sides. She looked up at the millionaire and spoke with quiet pride. "I can answer you in any language." The words hung in the air, simple yet bold, and a ripple of surprise passed through the crowd. He laughed, thinking it was the boast of a child with dreams bigger than reality. The kind of laugh that comes from underestimating someone, dismissing potential before it can even appear. But the girl didn't flinch. She had prepared for this moment in countless nights of quiet study, and she knew her talent was ready to challenge his assumptions. His laughter echoed, filling the room, but it carried a hint of curiosity. Perhaps, deep down, he wondered what this humble girl could actually do. The crowd waited, a mix of amusement and doubt, unsure if they had just witnessed youthful bravado or something far more remarkable. She stood tall, calm, and steady, letting her words speak louder than the laughter around her. There was intelligence in her posture, unexpected pride in her eyes, and a subtle power that no money could buy. He thought he was testing her, yet the challenge would soon reveal that learning, talent, and dignity were forces even he couldn't control. She repeated her claim, softer this time, yet more confident. "Ask me any question in any language." The simplicity of the statement belied the strength behind it. For the first time, the millionaire felt a twinge of uncertainty. This was no ordinary girl. Her humble demeanor hid a talent that could surprise, shock, and command respect. He had seen people boast before, but rarely with the quiet confidence that came without arrogance, only skill. It was a combination he hadn't accounted for, and that subtle imbalance made him lean forward, interested despite himself. The girl's calm challenge created a tension that everyone felt. People exchanged glances, sensing something unusual was about to happen. The millionaire's pride was a quiet fire, one that rarely flickered in public. Yet, in that moment, he realized the possibility that money, influence, and status might not guarantee superiority. Intelligence, humility, and talent, her unexpected gifts, had already earned her recognition in a room filled with people accustomed to being impressed only by wealth. And her pride, the quiet kind, carried weight far beyond the opulence he knew so well. He decided to test her. At first, he asked something simple in French, expecting an easy laugh and quick dismissal. Instead, she answered flawlessly, without hesitation or a tremor in her voice. The room paused, shifting its attention to the girl who had dared challenge the millionaire's assumptions. A ripple of disbelief moved through the crowd, followed by admiration that no one expected. Her talent, honed quietly through years of dedication, began turning the laughter into awe, curiosity, and a growing sense of shock. As the questions continued, each language brought new surprise. Spanish, Italian, German, Mandarin. She answered calmly, confidently, impressing not only the crowd but the millionaire himself. His laughter faded with each response, replaced by a grudging recognition. This was no ordinary display of knowledge. This was a living example of the power that comes from consistent, quiet effort. Her pride, tempered by humility, radiated intelligence that money could never buy. The room had grown silent, the challenge taking on a life of its own. A moment of unexpected recognition for a girl who had never sought it. The millionaire felt a mix of emotions: shock, respect, and a touch of admiration he couldn't ignore. Here was a girl who commanded attention without demanding it, who had transformed years of struggle and humble beginnings into a talent that transcended expectations. His confidence, built on wealth and influence, had been challenged in the simplest and most profound way, by skill, intelligence, and dignity. The laughter that had come so easily before was replaced by reflection, a subtle recognition that power could take many forms. The crowd leaned in, sensing the tension and the unexpected stakes. No one had anticipated the quiet force of a humble girl, and no one had imagined the millionaire would be challenged in such a way. The question was no longer whether she could answer. It was whether anyone in the room would ever forget the lesson she was giving about respect, talent, and the unexpected power of knowledge. Her challenge had become larger than words. It was a statement about pride, humility, and recognition that transcends wealth. And in that silent moment, the girl's calm gaze met the millionaire's eyes. The challenge had begun, but its impact was already unfolding. What happened next would not just surprise him, it would shift his understanding of intelligence, humility, and power forever. The room held its breath, waiting for the first test that would transform laughter into disbelief and doubt into respect. And she, poised and prepared, was ready to show the world just how unexpected talent can change everything. The millionaire cleared his throat, trying to regain composure, and asked her a simple phrase in French, fully expecting a stumble or hesitation. The girl's eyes sparkled, calm and confident, as she repeated the sentence flawlessly. The crowd leaned in, surprised, as her voice carried clarity and ease. It was more than pronunciation. It was intelligence in action, a talent shaped by dedication and quiet nights of study. The millionaire's eyebrows rose subtly, his laughter fading as recognition began to replace doubt. The simple test had already shifted the balance, hinting at the unexpected power a humble girl could hold. Each word she spoke was measured, deliberate, and precise, leaving no room for error. The audience, initially skeptical, now murmured in awe, realizing this was no ordinary display. Her pride was quiet, rooted in mastery rather than arrogance, and it radiated confidence that demanded respect. He had tested many people in his life, but never someone who carried skill, humility, and unexpected intelligence all at once. The millionaire began to feel a strange mix of admiration and unease. He realized that his wealth and influence couldn't predict the outcome. Only her talent could. The room seemed to shrink around her, the attention focused entirely on the girl who had dared to challenge him. Every pair of eyes watched her mouth form words. Every mind tried to anticipate her next move, and every heart felt the thrill of witnessing something unexpected. She wasn't just reciting a phrase. She was demonstrating the results of years of dedication and the pride that comes from personal achievement. Her intelligence was tangible, almost visible, transforming a simple test into a lesson about effort, skill, and recognition. Even the millionaire, used to control and certainty, felt the quiet shock of surprise. He shifted slightly, caught off guard by the precision and grace with which she handled a challenge meant to be simple. The laugh he had relied on as a shield of superiority vanished, replaced by an acute awareness that he was witnessing real talent. The girl's humble demeanor contrasted sharply with the weight of her skill, creating a powerful effect that money could not buy. The audience sensed it too, the rare moment when intelligence and dignity command attention without demand. The girl's calm execution turned each word into a statement. Talent, when nurtured quietly, can surpass assumptions, status, and expectation. She wasn't showing off. She was revealing the power of preparation and perseverance. Her pride was unassuming but undeniable, and it left an impression stronger than any boast. Each phrase she delivered carried the weight of her background, her struggles, and the countless hours of effort spent in isolation. The millionaire began to realize that influence and recognition were not always earned through wealth, but often through unseen dedication and intelligence. As the test continued, the crowd's astonishment grew. Whispers spread, blending curiosity and admiration. Parents in the audience glanced at their own children, imagining the potential they might uncover if given encouragement and opportunity. The girl's talent highlighted the unexpected power of knowledge, proving that humility and skill could coexist and even command respect from the highest levels. Her unexpected mastery became a lesson not just for the millionaire, but for everyone watching. Recognition, she demonstrated, often comes in quiet, surprising ways. He decided to push further, realizing that her skill was real, not luck or coincidence. Each additional question in a different language became a higher stake. Her confidence remained unwavering, her intelligence evident in every response. The millionaire's pride, usually unshakable, began to soften as he recognized the truth. Power isn't always measured in money, but in talent, humility, and the respect earned from skill. The girl's calm demeanor and mastery carried authority in a way he had rarely seen. The crowd shifted from doubt to fascination. Murmurs of surprise rippled through the room as they realized they were witnessing something exceptional. Her quiet pride and unexpected ability created an aura of respect and admiration that no laughter or disbelief could challenge. The first test had done more than assess her skill. It had revealed the truth about her dedication, intelligence, and the subtle power that comes from years of humble practice. By the end of the French phrase, the millionaire leaned back slightly, caught between admiration and disbelief. His eyes, usually so steady, reflected a flicker of shock. The girl had not only passed the first test, she had set the tone for the challenges ahead. The unexpected had become undeniable, and the room held its breath for the next move, knowing that each step would reveal more about the surprising talent and pride hidden in this humble girl. The millionaire smiled, attempting to maintain control, and asked her next question in Spanish. At first, he thought it would be an easy continuation of his previous amusement, a moment to laugh again at youthful confidence. But the girl answered immediately, flawless and composed, her voice steady, carrying the pride of years of quiet study. The room shifted, the laughter fading as a wave of surprise and curiosity replaced it. People began to whisper, noticing that something unexpected was unfolding before their eyes. Her talent wasn't just skillful, it was commanding, a subtle power emerging from humility and intelligence. Next came Italian, then German. With each language, her answers flowed effortlessly, perfectly. The millionaire's initial amusement had dissolved completely, replaced by a rising sense of doubt he hadn't anticipated. His laughter, once a shield of superiority, now seemed awkward, almost out of place. The girl's calm mastery was challenging his assumptions, reminding him that recognition comes from talent, not status. Each fluent response deepened the room's fascination, creating a tension that hung like a quiet storm over the gathering. The girl's quiet pride grew, the kind that doesn't boast but becomes undeniable in the face of surprise. She had anticipated these challenges, of course, but even she could feel the rising energy in the room. People began to recognize her intelligence, nodding subtly, exchanging glances of admiration. Her talent was no longer hidden. It demanded acknowledgement, and the millionaire couldn't ignore it. Humble yet powerful, she had shifted the balance of attention from wealth and status to skill and knowledge. For the first time, the millionaire questioned himself. Could a girl from such humble beginnings truly possess the talent she displayed? Could her intelligence and pride actually surpass his assumptions about the world? The doubt, once alien to him, began to take root. His confidence, normally unwavering, started to tremble under the weight of recognition and the shock of unexpected skill. The room was silent, but the tension vibrated through every person present, each witnessing a rare demonstration of humility paired with extraordinary ability. He tried to regain control, preparing another test, hoping to find a flaw, a hesitation he could exploit. But the girl remained calm, poised, and unshaken. Her intelligence radiated from her in subtle ways, in the way she listened, the way she paused, the way she answered precisely without overconfidence. Each response reinforced the lesson that skill, when nurtured quietly and combined with humility, can surprise even the most powerful. Laughter had vanished completely, replaced by a growing recognition that this girl was unlike anyone he had ever encountered. The audience began to feel the shift. Those who had expected amusement now experienced fascination, while others realized the power of dedication and quiet pride. The girl's unexpected ability to handle multiple languages flawlessly created awe. Recognition flowed naturally, not forced, as people instinctively appreciated the intelligence before them. The millionaire's doubt deepened, and with it, an unexpected respect began to form, a recognition of talent that money and influence could never replace. The atmosphere in the room became tense, yet inspiring. Every answer she gave carried subtle lessons about persistence, humility, and the power of preparation. Each word turned doubt into admiration, fear into curiosity, and surprise into respect. The girl's quiet pride and intelligence became the central focus, eclipsing the millionaire's wealth and status, reminding everyone present that talent, when cultivated with dedication, commands attention in the most unexpected ways. He felt a mixture of emotions, disbelief, shock, and an emerging admiration. Laughter had once defined his interactions, a way to assert dominance and control. But now, doubt and respect began to replace humor, forcing him to reconsider the very nature of recognition and power. She had turned what was meant to be a moment of amusement into a revelation about skill, intelligence, and the unexpected influence of humility and pride. By the end of the sequence, the millionaire was silent, his previous confidence replaced by reflection and shock. The girl had not only survived his challenge, she had shifted the room's perception entirely. Laughter had turned to doubt, but with doubt came respect, recognition, and the subtle understanding that her talent was a force that could not be ignored. And as she prepared for the next level of testing, the anticipation in the room was palpable, everyone aware that something remarkable was unfolding. The millionaire, now fully aware of her talent, decided to raise the stakes. He switched to German, then Mandarin, expecting at least a moment of hesitation or falter. But the girl answered each question calmly, word for word, her voice steady and confident. The crowd held their breath, astonished at the unexpected level of skill before them. It wasn't just knowledge. It was intelligence in action, pride in her craft, and a quiet power that demanded recognition. Each flawless answer chipped away at the millionaire's initial assumptions, replacing laughter with respect and awe. Her calm demeanor in the face of higher stakes impressed everyone. She didn't show nerves, didn't seek attention, and didn't boast. Her pride was subtle, rooted in her dedication, and her talent was undeniable. The audience began to realize that wealth could not buy the kind of skill she had nurtured through countless quiet nights of study. Even the millionaire, used to commanding control, felt a growing sense of humility. He had underestimated the girl, and the realization struck him as both shocking and enlightening. The girl's focus never wavered. Each phrase she spoke, in a language foreign to most in the room, carried clarity and precision. She was transforming a simple test into a lesson about the value of knowledge, the unexpected power of talent, and the pride that comes from personal achievement. Her intelligence radiated quietly, yet it reached every corner of the room, drawing admiration and disbelief alike. It was a demonstration of how humble beginnings could harbor the most extraordinary skills, hidden until the right moment revealed them. The stakes rose not just in language difficulty but in expectation. Every eye in the room followed her, every ear strained to catch each word, and every mind calculated the improbability of her skill. She was no longer just a girl showing off knowledge. She was a living example of persistence, talent, and the unexpected force of humility paired with confidence. The millionaire's pride, which once fueled laughter, now battled with awe, forcing him to confront the reality that intelligence could outweigh wealth in moments like this. A tension settled over the crowd, a mix of anticipation and admiration. Parents glanced at their children, silently hoping they might develop such dedication. Professionals whispered to each other, impressed by the girl's focus and unexpected mastery. Even the millionaire, for all his experience, felt an unfamiliar mix of challenge and respect. She had flipped the script entirely. The rising stakes weren't just about language, they were about understanding the true measure of power and recognition. Her calm responses and unwavering pride created a magnetic presence. Every word was an assertion of intelligence, humility, and skill. It wasn't performance. It was authenticity, and authenticity has a way of shocking those accustomed to artifice. The millionaire watched closely, realizing that the more complex the challenge, the more her talent shone, revealing lessons about preparation, focus, and the unexpected ways in which skill can command respect. The audience sensed that something extraordinary was unfolding. Her answers, precise and confident, became a testament to the value of quiet perseverance. The girl's unexpected talent now demanded attention far beyond what anyone had predicted. Recognition for her ability spread like wildfire in the room, and the millionaire could no longer mask his growing admiration. His earlier laughter had transformed into doubt, and now into a cautious respect for her intelligence and unexpected power. As the test moved into Mandarin, the room grew silent. The stakes had risen to levels none had anticipated, and every word she spoke carried weight and influence. The girl's humility, combined with undeniable skill, turned the challenge into a demonstration of how talent, pride, and dedication could surpass expectations. Her intelligence became a force, subtly commanding recognition without the need for money or status. It was clear that this encounter would leave an impact far beyond the languages themselves. By the end of this stage, the millionaire had shifted entirely. What began as a laugh, a dismissive test of a humble girl, had evolved into shock, doubt, and growing respect. The rising stakes had revealed the unexpected power of skill, pride, and intelligence, leaving the crowd in awe and the millionaire humbled. And as she prepared for the next challenge, everyone understood that the story was far from over. The true test of her talent and his perception was yet to come. As the languages became more complex, the girl's mind drifted briefly to the countless nights she had spent alone with torn books and fading recordings. Each memory reminded her of the weight of humble beginnings and the quiet pride that had carried her through the struggle. She had learned to memorize words and accents by candlelight, often skipping meals just to practice a new phrase. Intelligence and talent had been her companions, guiding her through the challenges of poverty and scarcity. Recognition had always seemed distant, yet the dream had never faded. Each small victory in her studies became a stepping stone, shaping the unexpected power she now displayed. She remembered the nights of frustration when pronunciation seemed impossible, when a single mistake made her question her path. Her parents had worried about survival, about food and bills, and no one saw the world she was quietly building in her mind. Yet she persisted, driven by an inner belief that skill and knowledge could one day open doors to opportunity. The millionaire's challenge now mirrored the battles she had fought alone. Each language question tested not just memory, but the strength of her pride, her dedication, and her humility. These memories reminded her that her talent had been earned, not given. Her intelligence had been honed in moments of solitude and determination, far from applause or recognition. Every phrase she mastered was a triumph over circumstance. Every accent learned a victory against doubt. The struggle had shaped her, giving her both patience and confidence. She realized that the challenge before the millionaire was just another chapter in a long story of overcoming obstacles. Humble beginnings had built the foundation for unexpected power, a force that even wealth and influence could not replicate. Her pride in her journey was quiet but undeniable. The audience could see the transformation in her eyes, even if they didn't know the story behind it. Every precise answer carried the weight of nights spent studying with no guidance, of sacrifices made quietly, and of intelligence nurtured under pressure. She had built skill from nothing, and now each word she spoke was proof of her unexpected abilities. The millionaire, observing her closely, began to sense the depth behind the talent, realizing that money could not measure the value of knowledge, humility, and relentless effort. The crowd felt the tension and admiration, sensing that her struggle had forged something rare. Memories of failure also lingered. The times when she thought she would never master a language, when mistakes led to frustration and tears, now fueled her determination. Each failure had been a lesson in persistence, shaping her understanding of patience, focus, and unexpected pride. She knew the millionaire's doubts were a reflection of the world's assumptions, and her answers were more than words. They were the product of resilience and dedication. Every phrase she delivered reminded her and everyone watching that true talent emerges from perseverance. Her journey from struggle to skill had been lonely, yet it carried a profound sense of humility. She never sought recognition for what she had learned in silence, but now the audience began to see the value of her intelligence. Each flawless answer was a testament to the hours, days, and years she had invested in herself. The millionaire, confronted with this display, began to question how many people might be overlooked simply because their beginnings were humble. Her pride was not boastful. It was quiet, earned, and now impossible to ignore. As she continued, she felt a deep connection between her past and the challenge before her. Every test, every question, was a reflection of the countless lessons she had absorbed through struggle. Her unexpected talent was not a gift, but a culmination of intelligence, dedication, and humble perseverance. She recognized that the respect she was gaining was not just for her answers, but for the story those answers represented. The millionaire's laughter had disappeared completely, replaced by curiosity and admiration. The crowd sensed the gravity of her journey. Her answers carried depth and authenticity, revealing more than skill. They revealed character. Every phrase reminded them that intelligence can emerge from unexpected places, and that humility and pride can coexist powerfully. Her struggle had become a silent teacher, shaping the reactions and emotions of everyone watching. The millionaire, for the first time, seemed humbled not by wealth or influence, but by the quiet, relentless power of knowledge and perseverance. By the end of this stage, the weight of her past struggles hung in the air, lending gravity and significance to each word she spoke. The audience felt the impact of her journey, and the millionaire's respect deepened. The memories of struggle had prepared her for this moment, proving that intelligence, talent, and humility could create shock, awe, and recognition beyond wealth. The stage was set for the next challenge, and the anticipation in the room was palpable, as everyone realized that the story was about to reach an even higher level of surprise and power. For the first time, the millionaire felt something unfamiliar: doubt. His wealth, influence, and experience could not prepare him for the quiet, undeniable intelligence of this humble girl. Every flawless answer she delivered chipped away at his confidence, replacing laughter with admiration and a strange unease. He realized that money could not buy the kind of talent, pride, and unexpected power that knowledge nurtured over years of dedication could. Each phrase she spoke made him question the assumptions he had held about skill, recognition, and respect. He watched closely, trying to anticipate a flaw, a hesitation, something that could restore his sense of superiority. But she remained composed, calm, and precise. The doubt grew stronger because her intelligence was authentic, rooted in practice and persistence, not luck or showmanship. Recognition for her skill was spreading through the crowd, and even he couldn't ignore it. The humility she carried alongside her talent added weight to her presence, creating a rare combination of respect and shock that he had never experienced. The millionaire's pride, usually unshakable, began to soften. He realized that true power wasn't in his money or influence, but in the knowledge, talent, and determination that the girl exhibited effortlessly. His earlier amusement, a tool to assert dominance, had vanished completely. Doubt now occupied its place, mingled with curiosity and awe. He couldn't help but recognize that she possessed a rare combination of intelligence, humility, and unexpected pride, the kind that commands attention even from those who are used to commanding the world. The crowd, sensing his doubt, became even more attentive. Each flawless answer, each calm delivery, strengthened the girl's presence. She didn't need to boast. Her talent spoke for itself. Her intelligence shone in a way that demanded recognition, creating an invisible shift in the room. The millionaire, accustomed to having control, realized that he was witnessing something beyond wealth or status. He was seeing skill and pride in action, a rare demonstration of unexpected power that left even him in shock. He reflected on his past assumptions, realizing how often talent and intelligence are overlooked when they come from humble beginnings. He had laughed, thinking she was just another girl with dreams too big for her circumstances. But now, doubt replaced amusement, and admiration began to take root. He understood that recognition could come from the most unexpected places, and that intelligence combined with humility could surpass even the most powerful positions. The shift in his perspective was subtle but profound, leaving him both humbled and intrigued. Her quiet pride was the contrast that deepened his doubt. She spoke with confidence, yet never arrogance, demonstrating that true talent is measured by skill, not by status or recognition. Each answer reaffirmed the unexpected power she possessed, and the millionaire couldn't deny it. The crowd felt it too, sensing the transformation taking place before their eyes. His doubt was no longer a private feeling. It was part of the shared realization that this girl's intelligence and dedication were extraordinary. He tried to regain composure, reminding himself that this was just a test, that mistakes were inevitable. Yet her unwavering precision and calm demeanor left him uncertain. He had met talented people before, but few had the humility, pride, and recognition of skill that she now exhibited effortlessly. The doubt continued to grow because he knew the next challenge could reveal even more of her unexpected abilities. The realization hit him, Her intelligence and talent had the power to redefine his perception of respect and authority. The millionaire's thoughts raced as he considered the implications of her skill. This was no ordinary girl and no ordinary test. Her intelligence had turned doubt into reflection, and his laughter had transformed into careful observation. Recognition, respect, and surprise were all wrapped into each answer she gave. He began to appreciate that the unexpected power of talent, when paired with humility and pride, could challenge even those accustomed to having control, shaking their confidence in the most enlightening way. By the end of this stage, doubt had fully replaced amusement. The millionaire, the crowd, and even the girl herself understood that something significant was unfolding. Recognition for her skill was now undeniable, and the tension in the room hinted at a climax yet to come. The girl's intelligence, humility, and quiet pride had not only proven her ability but also reshaped perceptions, leaving the millionaire to wonder just how far her unexpected talent could go. The stage was set for the next challenge, and anticipation hung thick in the air. The millionaire, now fully aware of the girl's extraordinary talent, decided it was time for the ultimate challenge. He pulled out his phone and typed a phrase in Arabic, a language few in the room could even pronounce correctly. The audience leaned in, anticipation buzzing like electricity through the air. Her calm demeanor didn't waver, but a flicker of determination crossed her eyes. This was the breaking point, the moment where her intelligence, humility, and pride would be tested under intense pressure. Every person present could feel the tension, waiting to see if her talent could truly withstand the impossible. She paused for a brief moment, drawing on years of quiet practice and endless nights of memorization. Her mind raced, recalling sounds, accents, and words she had painstakingly learned. The millionaire's doubt and surprise were visible, a silent acknowledgement that he had underestimated the depth of her skill. The room, holding its collective breath, was aware that this moment would either confirm her talent or reveal a flaw. But the girl's quiet confidence radiated, a testament to her unexpected power, intelligence, and dedication to learning. As she began speaking, every word was precise, measured, and flawless. The Arabic phrase rolled off her tongue with clarity that stunned the audience. The millionaire's face shifted from doubt to shock, his eyes widening in recognition of the depth of her intelligence. It wasn't just about knowing words. It was about mastery, pride, and a quiet strength that demanded respect. Every listener sensed the weight of her accomplishment, understanding that her humility had amplified the impact of her talent. The crowd erupted in murmurs of surprise, their admiration growing with each syllable. Parents whispered to each other, inspired by her dedication. Professionals nodded subtly, impressed by her intelligence and unexpected power. The millionaire, whose laughter had once filled the room, now stood frozen, realizing that money could not create the skill, poise, or pride she had nurtured on her own. The breaking point had revealed the full measure of her abilities and the depth of her recognition-worthy talent. Her pride was subtle yet unmistakable. She had prepared for this moment without fanfare, relying on her intelligence and persistence. The audience felt it. The humbleness that carried her skill made it even more powerful. The millionaire's shock was complete, his laughter replaced by awe and reflection. He had underestimated the quiet power of dedication and learning, and now he witnessed firsthand that true talent often comes from unexpected places. Every phrase she spoke reinforced the respect she had earned, the unexpected power of humility and pride shining through each word. The girl's talent became more than a display. It was a lesson in preparation, persistence, and the value of knowledge. She had turned a challenge meant to intimidate into a showcase of intelligence, humility, and recognition. The audience, captivated by her skill, began to understand that her unexpected power was a result of years of consistent effort, self-belief, and the pride she held in her abilities. Every answer she gave became a reflection of the quiet sacrifices she had made along the way. The millionaire struggled to regain composure, realizing the impact of what he had just witnessed. Laughter, once his tool for control, had vanished completely. Shock and admiration now dominated his expression, as he recognized that intelligence, talent, and humility could surpass wealth in commanding respect. The breaking point had not only tested the girl's skill, but had also reshaped his understanding of recognition and power. Her unexpected ability had flipped the narrative entirely. The audience's fascination deepened as she completed the task flawlessly. The breaking point highlighted the intersection of talent, pride, and humble beginnings, showing that true skill is often cultivated away from attention and expectation. Each person present could feel the energy shift, the millionaire's authority tempered by respect, the girl's talent now undeniable, and the room collectively acknowledging the extraordinary journey she had undertaken. The unexpected power of intelligence and humility left everyone in awe. By the end of the stage, it was clear. The girl had not only passed the breaking point, but had transformed the entire dynamic of the room. The millionaire's shock and doubt had given way to recognition and deep respect. Her pride, intelligence, and humility had created a moment of awe, surprise, and inspiration. The stage was set for the next phase, the moment where lessons about power, respect, and the unexpected ways talent shapes perception would fully unfold. The room fell completely silent as the girl finished speaking. Every word, flawlessly delivered, resonated with clarity and authority. The millionaire's face froze, a mixture of disbelief, awe, and respect etched into his features. Laughter had long vanished, replaced by the weight of recognition and the undeniable presence of her intelligence. The audience, stunned by the unexpected display of skill, felt a collective gasp, realizing that this was more than a test. It was a revelation of talent, humility, and pride that commanded attention. Shock rippled through the crowd, their eyes wide with amazement. Parents exchanged glances, silently marveling at the dedication required to reach such mastery. Professionals leaned forward, trying to absorb the quiet power emanating from this humble girl. Every person present recognized the rare combination of talent and intelligence before them. The millionaire, accustomed to being in control, realized that his assumptions had been shattered. Her unexpected skill had rewritten the rules, leaving him humbled in the most profound way. The girl's calm composure added to the intensity of the moment. She stood confidently, yet without arrogance, letting her talent speak louder than words ever could. The crowd's attention was fixed entirely on her, drawn by the magnetism of someone who had worked silently for years, now revealing the full scope of her abilities. Pride in her accomplishment was present but subtle, enhancing the authenticity of the moment. Her intelligence became impossible to ignore, commanding respect through every flawless response. The millionaire, still in shock, reflected on his initial laughter and disbelief. He had underestimated the unexpected power of talent nurtured through dedication and humility. Recognition of skill had replaced amusement, and his perspective began to shift. Money and status could no longer define authority in this room. The girl had proven that intelligence, focus, and quiet perseverance could create a presence far more compelling than wealth alone. Every observer felt the impact of her pride and unexpected power. Shock turned into contemplation as the audience considered the implications of what they had witnessed. Here was a girl, humble in origin, whose intelligence and talent had forced even a millionaire to reassess his assumptions. The moment highlighted the importance of recognizing skill wherever it may arise, regardless of social status or background. The girl's unexpected mastery served as a reminder that dedication and pride in one's work can generate awe and respect beyond measure. Her talent, combined with humility, left an unforgettable impression. Whispers of admiration began circulating through the crowd, reflecting the surprise and respect her performance inspired. Parents silently promised to nurture curiosity and learning in their own children, inspired by the girl's determination. The millionaire, still processing, realized the depth of the lesson before him. True power does not reside in wealth, but in talent, knowledge, and the ability to command respect through action and intelligence. The unexpected moment had transformed both the audience and the millionaire's understanding. Her talent was no longer a secret. It had become a testament to the value of quiet effort and perseverance. Each flawless answer, each display of intelligence and humility, resonated with the principles of pride and respect. The girl's unexpected power was undeniable, leaving the millionaire to confront the limitations of his previous assumptions. The moment of shock emphasized that recognition often arrives not from loud declarations but from consistent, dedicated effort applied with skill and integrity. The atmosphere in the room shifted completely. What began as amusement had turned into a profound appreciation for knowledge, intelligence, and the unexpected impact of humble beginnings. The girl's composure, combined with her talent, had created a ripple effect, inspiring awe and admiration throughout the room. Every observer sensed the power of pride and recognition intertwined with humility, and the millionaire's shock was a reflection of the transformative effect of encountering true skill without warning. By the end of this stage, it was undeniable. The girl had changed the energy in the room, leaving a lasting impression on everyone present. The millionaire, humbled and astonished, began to see the world differently, understanding that true intelligence, talent, and pride can surpass wealth and influence. The moment of shock had revealed the profound truth. Unexpected skill, when paired with humility and dedication, can inspire recognition, respect, and awe in the most surprising ways. The millionaire's mind raced as he tried to comprehend what he had just witnessed. He had always equated power with wealth, influence, and control, yet the girl had shown him a force far more compelling. Her intelligence, skill, and humility carried a weight no money could purchase. Recognition of true talent and quiet pride had created an unexpected shock that he couldn't ignore. The lesson was clear. Power often comes not from dominance, but from knowledge, perseverance, and the respect one earns through consistent effort. Every word the girl had spoken was a demonstration of authority that required no boast. She held the room with calm confidence, her unexpected talent a silent yet undeniable force. The millionaire realized that his wealth, impressive as it was, could never replicate the impact of intelligence combined with humility and pride. Observing her, he understood that respect isn't demanded. It is given in response to skill and character. The room, captivated, began to feel the profound lesson unfolding. Power manifests through unexpected avenues, often overlooked by those chasing status alone. He reflected on moments in his own life when he had underestimated others, judging them by appearances rather than capability. This girl, humble in every sense yet extraordinary in skill, reminded him that true power is often invisible until revealed through action. Her intelligence, perseverance, and pride had created a force that commanded attention effortlessly. The millionaire's laughter had been replaced by respect, and his assumptions about what constitutes influence and authority began to crumble. He began to see that knowledge and dedication could surpass wealth in creating lasting impact. The audience, sensing the shift, absorbed the lesson as well. Parents, professionals, and onlookers alike recognized the value of humility paired with talent. The girl's unexpected power was a living example that skill and intelligence can create awe and respect far beyond what money alone can achieve. Every answer she had given, every phrase pronounced perfectly, had been a demonstration of the quiet strength that shapes real influence. The millionaire, humbled and reflective, realized that he had encountered a rare embodiment of power, one grounded not in wealth, but in ability and character. Her calm, steady presence amplified the lesson further. Power, he realized, was not about control or intimidation. It was about the capacity to inspire, command respect, and leave a lasting impression. The girl's pride was understated, yet it reinforced her intelligence and talent, making her influence undeniable. Recognition, he understood, is earned through dedication and skill, not inherited or bought. Her unexpected mastery reminded him that true authority often comes from those who quietly cultivate knowledge and humility, and then reveal it when least expected. The millionaire reflected on how easily he had assumed superiority, relying on money as a measure of success. Now, confronted by the girl's exceptional skill, he recognized that real influence comes from consistent effort, intelligence, and the ability to earn respect without demanding it. The lesson was not just for him. It was a universal truth he could not ignore. The girl had transformed the room, proving that unexpected talent, when combined with humility and pride, could shift perceptions and redefine the meaning of power entirely. He began to see his own actions in a new light, realizing that authority is most potent when rooted in respect and knowledge rather than dominance. The girl's intelligence had shown him the unexpected dimensions of influence, leaving him inspired and humbled simultaneously. Every person present felt the impact, the quiet lesson that talent, humility, and dedication create a power stronger than wealth or position. Recognition, respect, and pride intertwine to reveal a truth few truly understand. Power emerges from the mastery of oneself and the respect one earns from others. The girl, unaware of the magnitude of her lesson, continued to answer with calm precision, each word reinforcing the authority she naturally commanded. Her unexpected power was not just a display of skill, but a demonstration of the value of perseverance, humility, and pride. The millionaire, captivated and introspective, realized that influence could come from anyone, regardless of background or status. Knowledge and intelligence, when combined with quiet strength, could shift the perceptions of the most powerful individuals. By the end of this stage, the lesson was undeniable. True power is cultivated through skill, intelligence, humility, and pride. The girl had not only answered the millionaire's challenge, but had reshaped his understanding of influence and respect. The audience, inspired and awed, absorbed the truth that recognition often comes from the most unexpected places. The stage was set for the next moment, an opportunity for the girl to receive support and open doors she had never imagined, and for the millionaire to act on the profound lesson he had learned. The millionaire, still recovering from the shock of her flawless answers, felt a surge of admiration and respect. Instead of mocking her or walking away, he did something no one expected. He offered to support her studies, opening doors she had only dreamed of. The offer was not about money alone. It was a recognition of talent, intelligence, and the quiet pride she carried. His gesture reflected a lesson he had just learned. True power is about uplifting others, acknowledging skill, and fostering unexpected potential wherever it emerges. The girl blinked, surprised, unsure if this offer was genuine. After all, he had laughed at her earlier, and his wealth seemed like an unbridgeable world. Yet his sincerity was palpable, a subtle shift from skepticism to genuine recognition. Her humility and talent had earned more than admiration, they had earned opportunity. The crowd, sensing the tension and the unexpected generosity, leaned in. This was a moment where pride, intelligence, and the power of recognition intersected in a way that left everyone in awe. She thought about the possibilities, realizing that accepting wasn't about wealth, it was about growth. The millionaire's offer represented a chance to develop her talent, gain recognition, and embrace opportunities she had never imagined. Her intelligence and skills, honed quietly over years, now had the potential to flourish in ways that could change her life. The offer was unexpected, yet perfectly timed, reinforcing the lesson that true respect and acknowledgement often appear when least anticipated. The millionaire watched closely, gauging her reaction, understanding that trust had to be earned. His respect for her pride, talent, and humility grew with each passing moment. He realized that support was more than financial. It was validation, encouragement, and a chance to open doors that intelligence alone couldn't always unlock. The girl's unexpected power had not only humbled him but had inspired him to act in a way that honored her dedication. Recognition, after all, is most meaningful when paired with opportunity. The girl's mind raced through the implications. She had spent years cultivating knowledge and skills in isolation, driven by curiosity and pride. Now, the opportunity to expand her horizons, to gain recognition and learn from experiences beyond her humble beginnings, was within reach. The millionaire's unexpected offer was a bridge between potential and possibility. It wasn't about changing who she was. It was about enhancing the impact of her talent and intelligence in the world. The room buzzed with quiet excitement, everyone sensing the significance of the moment. Parents whispered encouragement to their children, inspired by the recognition of skill and intelligence regardless of background. Professionals nodded, appreciating the unexpected lesson in humility and pride. The millionaire's choice reflected an understanding that fostering talent is a form of power, and that recognition paired with opportunity can amplify potential in ways money alone never could. Her pride remained understated, yet evident, as she considered accepting. This wasn't a transaction. It was acknowledgement of years of dedication and intelligence. The offer symbolized respect, trust, and recognition, merging all the values she had nurtured quietly in her life. The millionaire's eyes reflected genuine admiration, a rare blend of surprise, pride, and respect that few ever experience. The unexpected offer had transformed the challenge into a turning point for both of them. By the end of this moment, the girl understood that opportunity and recognition often come from those who are willing to see talent where others might overlook it. Her humility, intelligence, and persistence had turned what began as a test into a life-changing proposition. The millionaire had learned a lesson in respect, the power of acknowledgement, and the unexpected impact of talent nurtured in humble beginnings. It was a rare convergence of pride, skill, and recognition that left everyone inspired. The stage was set for a turning point. The girl's acceptance of the offer wouldn't be about wealth or status. It would be about growth, learning, and the chance to continue proving that intelligence and humility can create unexpected power. The millionaire, humbled and enlightened, prepared to witness her journey unfold. Recognition, respect, and opportunity intertwined, creating a moment that would change the lives of both the humble girl and the seasoned millionaire forever. The girl accepted the millionaire's offer, but not for wealth or status. She saw it as a chance to grow, to embrace her talent, and to earn recognition for the years of quiet dedication she had poured into learning. Her humility remained intact, yet there was a new spark in her eyes, a confidence born from both skill and opportunity. The millionaire watched, fascinated, realizing that respect could come from even the most unexpected places. This turning point was more than a personal achievement. It was a lesson in the power of talent, pride, and persistence. As she embarked on this new chapter, the girl's world expanded rapidly. She met mentors, attended programs, and immersed herself in experiences that challenged her intelligence and refined her skills. Each day brought surprises that demanded both humility and courage. The millionaire, observing her growth, reflected on his initial laughter and disbelief. He realized that supporting talent was not about control but about nurturing potential. The girl's unexpected power now had the opportunity to flourish fully, transforming both her life and the perception of those around her. The audience, who had witnessed the challenge and shock earlier, felt inspired by this evolution. Parents, teachers, and young learners saw in her journey a roadmap for turning curiosity and dedication into recognition and opportunity. Her story emphasized that talent, when paired with perseverance and humility, could create a ripple effect far beyond individual achievement. The millionaire's respect deepened, as he saw that influence and power often emerge when intelligence meets opportunity. Every interaction now carried the weight of lessons learned and the promise of growth. Challenges arose even in this new chapter. The girl faced skepticism, obstacles, and moments of self-doubt. Yet her pride in her abilities, coupled with the support of the millionaire, helped her navigate each hurdle. Her intelligence became a tool, her humility a strength, and her unexpected talent a beacon. The turning point wasn't just about receiving help. It was about learning to harness it wisely. Every small victory reinforced her confidence, and every obstacle strengthened her character. The audience could relate, recognizing the blend of struggle, talent, and perseverance. Recognition for her talent spread, not just locally but widely, as stories of her intelligence and mastery reached people beyond her immediate circle. The millionaire, humbled by her progress, understood that the true value of his support lay in witnessing her growth rather than claiming credit. He had learned the ultimate lesson in power, the ability to elevate others and respect talent wherever it emerges. Her humility and pride inspired everyone, showing that intelligence, when paired with opportunity, can change not only a life but also the perception of what's possible. The girl's journey became a source of motivation for countless others. People began to see that consistent effort, dedication, and intelligence could earn recognition and respect, even in unlikely circumstances. The turning point illustrated that wealth and status are not prerequisites for influence. Rather, humility, talent, and persistence often create the most profound impact. The millionaire, once a figure of authority and skepticism, now saw himself as a witness to the extraordinary power of human potential. His laughter was replaced by admiration and genuine respect. As she progressed, the girl maintained her grounded nature, balancing ambition with humility. Her interactions with the millionaire evolved into mentorship and collaboration, blending intelligence with guidance and opportunity. Every success she achieved reinforced the lesson that unexpected power often comes from dedication, skill, and the ability to remain humble in the face of recognition. The turning point had transformed the dynamic between them, creating a bond built on mutual respect, shared learning, and appreciation for talent cultivated through perseverance. The audience absorbed the full scope of the story. From humble beginnings to a life-altering encounter, the girl had demonstrated the impact of intelligence, pride, and unexpected talent. The millionaire, once amused and skeptical, had been enlightened, realizing that true influence comes from nurturing potential, recognizing skill, and respecting the journeys of others. The turning point highlighted that life-changing moments often arrive when opportunity meets preparation and humility. Every observer could feel the resonance of her journey, inspired to seek growth in their own lives. By the end of this chapter, the girl's path was no longer defined by limitation or doubt. She had transformed opportunity into achievement, humility into strength, and talent into recognition. The millionaire's respect, admiration, and understanding had evolved into a partnership grounded in the power of skill and persistence. This turning point was more than a moment. It was a culmination of lessons in pride, intelligence, humility, and the unexpected ways talent shapes life. The story closed this chapter, leaving the audience inspired, reflective, and ready to embrace their own potential for greatness. The girl proved that recognition, respect, and dignity are worth far more than money. Her quiet pride and intelligence had turned doubt into admiration, and her humility into a force that commanded attention. Everyone watching realized a simple truth: talent and perseverance often hide in the most unexpected places. She showed that where you come from, or how small your beginnings may seem, doesn't define your value. Her story isn't just about languages or impressive skills. It's about the hidden worth inside every person, waiting for the right moment to shine. It's a reminder that respect and recognition are earned through dedication, not given by wealth or status. Her journey touched hearts because it reflected something universal. We've all faced moments where our abilities were underestimated, our pride ignored, or our efforts unseen. She turned that struggle into strength, proving that persistence, humility, and talent create impact far beyond what money alone can achieve. The lesson lingers: never dismiss someone based on appearances or background, because true power often comes from the most unexpected sources. Her story leaves a lasting imprint, encouraging us to see potential where others might overlook it. This moment, simple yet profound, reminds us that everyone carries hidden value. The girl's quiet dedication, her patience, and her pride were enough to challenge a millionaire's assumptions and transform a room. Recognition, respect, and dignity were the real rewards, not wealth or fame. And as the audience reflected on her journey, they understood that the greatest surprises often come from those who work quietly, with humility and intelligence, until the world can no longer ignore them. If this story touched your heart, imagine how many more voices are waiting to be heard. Subscribe to Millionaire Breakthrough, share this video, and be part of a community where hidden talents and real stories find their light. Every person has a gift, and by joining us, you'll discover lessons that inspire, surprise, and remind us all of the power inside each of us. Don't miss the next story that could change the way you see the world and the people around you.